Welcome back, and I am Rosie from Cherry Moon Travel, and today I am going to introduce you to a new guide that I've created specifically for travelers, and more so for first-time travelers that have a lot of questions, that don't know where to begin, they don't know how to prepare. And so I put together this handy guide, and if you see, it says your vacation starts before you leave home. A little preparation today creates a lot more relaxation tomorrow. And that is true. When I first started traveling, I didn't have anyone to guide me and give me direction on what I should and shouldn't do. I overpacked. I didn't know what to expect when I got on the ship. It just was a whole lot of unnecessary stress. Didn't know about the prepaid gratuities that were going to be added. I was just doing all kinds of stuff, playing it by ear, and that's part of the reason why I got into the travel business, because I thought I could help people go on vacation and it be stress-free. And so after all these years, I finally created this guide. Every journey begins with a dream, and every dream deserves a plan. So in this guide, you will find things to do before your departure. It'll tell you how many weeks out to do it. There's a basic first aid checklist. So I've seen people suggest online things people should take. You really don't need all that. You just need some basic things. And if you do things properly and follow instructions and rules, you don't need to take an entire pharmacy with you, or you don't need to pack like you are running a urgent care out of your cabin. So you don't need all that. So I just put some basic things that you may need, especially if you're planning on going on tours. There are things, I've actually been on tours. I remember one time I went on a tour, someone fell, skinned their knee. It was bleeding, and I had antiseptic and bandages, and I gave it to them, and they were able to continue on. So I think things like that are good. So I have some basic things in there. And then here in this page, I have some travel reminders. I'm going to go through those because they are important. But then you have a bunch of pages in the back just to document your trip. Things you want to remember, if you're a blogger, or things you want to share, tips and tricks that you learned, so that if someone asks you, you can give them accurate information and helpful tips for someone else. But some things I want to go over is your passport must be valid for 6 months of your return. So not 6 months from the day you're leaving, 6 months upon your return date. So it's August 3rd. I'm going on vacation tomorrow, August 4th. I'm coming back on the 12th. My passport needs to be valid 6 months after the 12th of August. So keep that in mind. And then also remember, children's passports expire every 5 years. Adults are 10. So keep in mind on that too. So everybody's passport must be valid. Register with STEP. STEP is the Smart Traveler Enrollment Program. It's a government site. You go on there and you register yourself in there as a traveler, and that way the U.S. embassies and consulates in the country that you're traveling to will know that you're there. That way, if there's natural disasters, if there is chaos and outbreak in the country, they know you're there, they know where you're supposed to be, how long you're supposed to be there, and that helps should you need some help and assistance from the government. Print your documents. Don't rely solely on your phone. We all know how that goes. Your phone can die. If you're somewhere where the chargers don't work, you lose your phone, God forbid. How do you board your flight? So I always print my documents, always. If I don't need them, great. But if I do, I want to be able to continue on in my journey without the stress of not having my phone. Make copies of your passport. That way, if you lose your original document and you do need to go to a foreign consulate for help, you do have a copy of it that verifies who you are and your citizenship. So always do that. They always ask you for emergency contacts. Please provide those. Someone at home who's familiar with where you're going, where you should be, when you should be there. Give them your itinerary. I hear a lot of stories online now about people traveling to foreign countries. They're missing or things happen, unfortunate circumstances. Have someone at home know where you're supposed to be. Don't travel off going around to places and don't tell anyone where you are. And I know I've felt that way before. I just want to get away and disconnect. But on the flip side of that, that's not always the safest thing to do because we live in different times. There was a time you could probably do that. I'm just going to get away. Probably shouldn't do that. Take your medication in its original bottles with your prescription information on it. You don't want any issues with foreign police or anything where you're carrying pills that you can't identify and they don't know what they are. So if you, I take medication with me. I show it's an original bottle. They see it's prescribed to me. I can show my ID and I explain to them what it is, what it's for. They go fine and they keep moving. So do that. Take your original prescriptions. I know the little pill bottles are convenient, but I wouldn't recommend taking pills in a separate pill bottle that's unlabeled. Could be good, but my personal recommendation is not to do that so it doesn't look like you're smuggling anything in. Beware of the laws and the regulations in foreign countries. Every country is different. We all know that here in the United States we have a lot of freedoms and liberties that other countries don't. So keep that in mind. Things you think you can do here, which you probably shouldn't do here either, but you should not go to foreign countries and do certain things. And I've heard horrific stories. I've seen people doing things that should not be done. And if you do something and you're called out on it, please don't fight with the foreign police. You will be arrested. You do not want to be arrested in a foreign country and have to deal with that. So follow the laws, understand what the laws are, and abide by them. And if you are not, be prepared to deal with the consequences of that. Don't venture off into unknown territory, especially at night. That's just not recommended anywhere that you are, especially if you're in a foreign country. I don't have a problem staying at my resort where I'm going. Know where you're going and know where it's okay to go, and where you shouldn't go. Don't meet people and go off with them if they invite you. I wouldn't recommend doing that. I have always been one who also does not go off on people who offer these, oh, you pay me $20, I'll show you around the island. I don't do that. People have done it, and I've heard they had a great time. Good for them. I will never do that. I will pay the extra money and do my shore excursion through the cruise line so they know where I am, where I'm supposed to be. And if we're late, I'm with other people, and that's being communicated back to the ship. I will not ever get in a car with someone who's going to show me around for a cheaper price. It's just not worth it to me. Don't flash money, jewelry, or anything else that will make you a target. I used to wear a lot of jewelry. I loved it. always coordinated it with my outfits. That sometimes will make you stand out. Even if it's costume jewelry, it looks like you have money. It looks like you are someone who has something they may want. So I would not recommend that either. I'm not saying don't wear jewelry, but be mindful when you're out in public. Don't pull out large sums of cash. Don't wear fancy watches and things like that when you're out off the ship, or if you leave a resort or wherever you may be. Be mindful of that. And last but certainly not least, I mean, there's a lot of things you should be mindful of, but the last thing I noted here is don't get inebriated and unaware of your surroundings. If you don't know what inebriated is, intoxicated, unaware, have a great time, but don't put yourself in a situation where you don't know what's happening to you. Don't make yourself vulnerable to things being put in your drinks, or drinking with people you don't know. And you know, on a cruise ship, I've met people many times and we'll hang out, but we're in a controlled environment. I would not do that in a foreign place where I go out and eat and drink with people that I may not know. Unless you are in a group trip and you're eating with people in the group. But otherwise, be mindful of that. Always be mindful of your surroundings. And last but not least, confidence is the best thing that you could pack. So be prepared so you can have a great time and come home safely. I'll see you next time. Come back for more tips and other ideas to make your trip safe. And thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.